The Sony Xperia 1 Mark II is one of the latest releases to come paired with a Snapdragon 865 processing chip, but how does it go up against the first phone which housed that chipset, the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro? Well, like I said, both of them come paired with the same 865 processing chip run on 7nm plus technology, both have UFS 3.0 storage, and both have 8 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM. Here are the hardware specs. Feel free to hit pause here for more information. I've updated the software on both devices, and we have a stable MIUI 12 update on there, which is awesome to see. We're going to be using the 90Hz panel on the Xiaomi and motion blur reduction on the Xperia. We're going to disable all animations here under developer options in order to test out raw speed. But the funny thing is, even with animations completely disabled, the Xiaomi has a bit of a closing animation no matter what you do in the settings, even if you just reduce animations in the settings themselves. Round 1 is going to be all about boot and fingerprint unlock. Round 2 will be all about initial opening of app speed, and round 3 will be all about RAM management. Going to be using my fingers here, so for accuracy, we're going to pop GoPro footage at the bottom left hand corner. Guys, this is TechNick, and without further ado, let's go. We're going to start here with a boot to see which one can get into the phone faster. I've sped things up at the bottom right hand corner. 14.5 seconds for the Xperia as opposed to 16 for the Xiaomi. Getting the Xperia its first point over there. Going into the phone itself though, refreshing those first app icons, the Xiaomi gets its first point over there. Quite a lot quicker there compared to the Xperia. We have an optical fingerprint scanner underneath the Xiaomi's display, and we have a side mounted one, the Xperia. We're not testing how quick it takes to load animations of the icons, but more so how fast it actually takes to get in. And the Xiaomi won every single time. They're getting its second and final point in round 1, as opposed to 1 point in round 1 for the Xperia. Going into round 2 over here, we did close the apps as I just showed you guys, and the Xiaomi opened up the camera app quicker, it flipped to the selfie quicker, but the Xperia took the snap slightly faster, so it's now 2-1 with a lead going to the Xiaomi. Xiaomi picks up its third point when going into the Photos app. We have pretty much stock Android on the Sony, so we're using Google Photos over here. That is the standard Photos app, and the Xperia actually opened up the photo quick over there, and it also opened up the calculator app slightly quicker. Now 3 for 3 on both devices over here, and going into the phone app, it was too close to call there. Next app that we have here, system app, is settings, and the Mi 10 Pro opens that one up quicker. And going into an internet speed test, speed check over here, the Xperia opens it up quicker. Now we're going to speed things up, as you can see at the bottom right hand corner, to 800%, and we're going to see not download and upload rates, but more so how fast it actually takes to run the speed test. 22 seconds for the Xperia 1 Mark II as opposed to 23 for the Xiaomi, giving the Xperia its 5th point as opposed to 4, now taking the lead over the Xiaomi. Going into our next app here, which is non-system related and not a internet speed test, the Xperia 1 Mark II opened up Spotify quicker there, now a 2-point lead. And going into Photoshop Express over here, the Xperia 1 Mark II took it once more. Going into the photo, once again, Sony grabbed that point, and going ahead and exporting the photo both with UFS 3 storage, it said save to gallery at the bottom of the Xperia device quicker than it did on the Mi 10 Pro, getting it its 9th point, now 5 ahead of the Xiaomi. Going into Adobe Rush over here, a video editing program, the Sony opened it up quicker, but going into the project, the Xiaomi snagged its 5th point, now just half of that of the Xperia 1 Mark II. I'm going to export this 4K 25 frames per second video, and we're going to compress it down to 1080p. I'm going to speed things up so I don't keep you guys here all day, even though it doesn't really take that long to get through because these phones have extremely fast storage. But the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro edges forward here with 14 seconds with its UFS 3.0 storage as opposed to 20 with UFS 3.0 storage on the Sony. Very interesting to see over there, and the Xiaomi obviously took that point, making it 6 points now. Going into Astral VPN, because we need a VPN here in China. It was too close to call when opening, but the Xperia 1 Mark II actually turned it on slightly faster. First social media app here, which we actually need a VPN for here in China, the Sony opens up quicker. Next app that we have here is Instagram. The last one was Facebook. If you didn't see that, it was too close to call when going into Instagram. And now we have Twitter. Going into Twitter, the Sony snagged its 13th point over there, now more well than double of that of the Mi 10 Pro. And then going into YouTube over here, let's see which one can do it. The Sony opens the app up and loads the entire screen content faster than the Mi 10 Pro. Going into my channel, it was too close to call over here. They both loaded different things on the screen at different times, but the last loading was at the exact same time. Going into a video, however, the Mi 10 Pro picks up its 7th point over there, now just half the points once again of the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II. Just half the points. The Sony is twice as fast. So far so good on you, Sony. Going into Netflix, the Xperia opened it up quicker, but the Xiaomi went into my profile faster. But going into Google Chrome, the Sony snagged at 16 points, now double points once again of a lead against the Xiaomi with 16 points as opposed to 8. Going into Subway Surfers here, our first game of 4. We're going to see which one can open up games quicker, and the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II opened it up quicker, not much quicker, but it was definitely noticeable, so getting it at 17th point there. Second game is Flip Diving, pretty similar load times to Subway Surfers. Going into it, once again, the Sony opens it up quicker, now 18 points, now a 10-point lead as opposed to the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro. Next app that we have, next game, is Temple Run 2. Sped it up a bit, slowed it back down, and I've never seen this before, exactly the same there, so no point was allocated. The last game and the last app of the last row over here is indeed going to be PUBG Mobile. A lot longer to load than previous apps, a lot more graphic intense. So I'm speeding things up at the bottom right hand corner. I'll let you guys know the seconds in a second. 14.5 seconds for the Mi 10 Pro, just 0.5 seconds quicker than the Sony, but nevertheless it was indeed quicker. Round 3 is all about RAM management over here, and with MIUI 12 you would expect to see a bit of an improvement, but we know that Xiaomi do have terrible RAM management and there is no changes over here whatsoever. I can assure you guys that all battery and RAM optimizations on both phones have been disabled. The Xperia 1 Mark II has kept 7 apps open so far, where the Xiaomi has killed those 7 apps. If they both kill the app, then I don't allocate a point, and if they both keep them open, I don't allocate a point either. The Sony is keeping 10 apps open more than the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro, now 12, and going into PUBG, surprisingly they both kept them open, so 12 points there for the Xperia with RAM management as opposed to 0 on the Xiaomi. Total points, 31 for the Xperia 1 Mark II as opposed to 11 on the Xiaomi. The Xperia absolutely dominated the speed test, but if we look at just raw speed, which comes down to round 2 over there, 18 points for the Sony as opposed to 9 on the Xiaomi, so twice as fast. You be the judge. This is TechNick, and I'll see you in the next one.